All right. I think it's because you're not added in. Your screen, JD. When you share your screen, you didn't add yourself. Let me add you in. So whenever you so where you have the that's why I'm not hearing you. For somehow you're removing yourself from the stream. If you add yourself to the stream, I'm going to do that, demonstrate that. You see near the bottom, see you're grayed out. See now you're blue. I'm adding you to the stream. See now I should be able to hear you. So
Can you
apparently
hear me
that
now?
was the issue. Yes, I can hear you just fine now. Yeah.
How do I do that
All right.
again?
Well, it's probably because when you were adding your instead of trying to remove yourself from the screen and trying you didn't add the screen and keep yourself on. You removed yourself and then added the
Oh,
screen. So you
oh,
basically
okay. Thank
that
you.
stopped your that stopped your audio and it stopped your camera. So the only thing that was being conveyed to the stream was your screen, uh, not your audio. So
Okay.
be
All right.
very
Now we
careful
got this
about.
tornado warning
Yeah,
here.
catch me up. Yeah, catch me up there.
We got the tornado warning.
Yeah, again, you can see
Can you
that.
see it?
Yeah, there's a fairly strong updraft with that one. See that air that's wrapping around that rain cooled air, the super cooled air, and then you can see that coupling. I mean, there's some fairly decent shear within there. So I mean that's a pretty healthy that's a pretty healthy cell, and it'll probably end up. I mean, if there's increasing shear with that, that'll probably lead to a subsequent warning that'll probably end up being issued soon.
So if you're in the path of this tornado warning, you probably need to be seeking some shelter again with the storm. Make sure you're in a site in a basement now. Mobile homes are not going to be safe in this kind of warning.
Right, right. Again, if you are tornado warned, the safest place to be is a small interior room, away from windows. Definitely put as many walls and objects between you and the outside as possible. And again, please be advised to continue changing conditions. And again, I will point out a new tornado watch for it's been in effect for a little under an hour now, and it'll be in place till about 2 p.m. for parts of southern
No, 2
Louisiana,
a.m.
southern. Yes, 2 o'clock a.m. Central Time. Uh, Again, this is an area where, as we're getting more linear characteristics with this line, the storms that are forming out ahead of that continue to pose some characteristics. Some low top supercells that are tracking across Louisiana um, continue to pose a threat for mostly a wind and tornado threat. Um, and we can expect some strong downdrafts with a lot of these. And I will also point out that, by the way things are looking now, most of the area, or most of, or I want to point out that the marginal risk was extended towards areas around Memphis too. But looks like that line of storms is pushing through. I think these are some weaker updrafts. We're not really seeing as much forcing force that far north, so it's not really looking like a situation that is posing a severe storm threat that far north at this point,
Yeah.
as we thought it would.
Or we're on. Give everybody an update. I mean, just a quick small update said tomorrow could be an active day too.
Yeah, most definitely. And this is going to be a very. This is we're going to see a more neutral till, but then the trough is going to be very highly negative, tilted, backed by very strong low level flow, and then um, a lot of there's going to be a very strong rear inflow jet on the back end that's gonna um, that's going to present a lot of problems for your folks in the Carolinas. That's a very strong wind shear and a very strong updraft helicity for sure. So that is going to lead to like any supercell that we'll see these little bitty these renegades that form out ahead of this line, uh, and then there's going to be an uptick in helicity as this cold front continues to make its way into the eastern slopes of the Appalachians, into much of North Carolina, parts of Virginia as well, and further east towards the Mid-Atlantic. Not necessarily the Outer Banks, but areas in north central parts of Virginia. That is going to be an area to watch for uh, significant organization of storms, and that this will lead to and like my bet is that there's very sufficient surface-based mixed layer and stability, and if the lapse rates are a tad bit higher, and I mean, I would at least expect maybe a hatched area to be introduced at some point tomorrow, but I don't think a moderate risk is a given at this point. It would have to do. This would likely be contingent on how quickly storms evolve during the morning or the late morning into the afternoon hours, and obviously this would be an issue probably heading into the late evening as well in some locations into tomorrow across
What about Christmas
North
Day?
Carolina and Virginia. So definitely a lot of impacts for your Christmas Eve. A lot of this clears out on Christmas Day.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pull up here. We got storms going down here too, right?
Right. Yeah, I can see. You see the. Yeah, there's a broad area of shear with this line of storms. So I mean, that's an indication that some of these storms are not only producing heavy rain, but some embedded gusty wind as well. I mean, where the storms are most severe, that's where we have some strong downdrafts with that, a little bit of bowing with that's occurring around there. And that's where we have a strong mid-level, we have a little bit stronger low-level updraft where these tornado warnings are in place. And we can see that broad severe thunderstorm warning area for some strong downdrafts. Looks like maybe some hail with that one too. Because we have more elevated instability that on the back end of those storms, that's it's causing us a rotating updraft and mid-level updraft, and it's definitely getting windy outside, I must say here.
How does this thing look here?
Well, again, that's a dual polarization product.
All right, I'm gonna have to switch gears. We've got another tornado warning, Isaac.
Okay, yeah, that's is that a separate cell or the cell?
Well, it's for Rapras Parish in central Louisiana to 10 p.m.
Okay, yeah, looks like it's the same, pretty much the same. I think that's Rabides Parish. I think that's how it's pronounced.
Okay.
Could you exit that warning text, or at least move it aside, so we know what geographic regions in there? Yeah, see that I was going to say that's a continuation of that warning. That updraft looks like it's been recycling somewhat. That updraft is continuing to wrap around where we have, or I mean, this is a very strong low-level updraft we have much stronger air further aloft that's wrapping in on there. That could be a possible rear flank that could develop with that. And there's plenty of effective inflow that's in place with this couplet. So again, very broad amounts of shear available with this. So I mean, pretty much a tornado could form at any time with this. It could spin up at any time.
So you want to take shelter now?
Yeah, this is your warning. So take heed and take cover if you are in the outlined areas.
Yeah, Yeah, you might want to tell people tonight, Isaac, they might need to have flashlights. A weather radio will come in handy tonight, right?
Yeah, right. As storms push through, there may be isolated areas that may have power disruptions. So you want to have emergency supplies handy, non-perishable food, and battery operated hand crank radio for at least so you can have updates if you lose cell phone or aren't able to um, aren't able to obtain information uh, from TV or other sources about emergency information. So um, definitely and keep your cell phones charged as well because uh, that could be your first line of defense if you are in an area that is damaged and you need rescue operations or disaster relief operations or need to get a hand of or if you need to get a hand of emergency or paramedics or firefighters or whatever that is whatever the situation does require you to do. So
Yes.
definitely have a way to receive warnings and have a plan in place in case you lose power or yeah, and then keep your phone
There's
charged
a little
and
bit of a there's a little bit of kind of a yellow greenish. What that mean?
yellow greenish. I mean that is probably clutter. It could be like small branches and stuff that could be that could be swayed or it's the lowest degree the radar can depict. So I mean, it could be a flock of birds or some kind of solid concentration. But I mean, a concentration of objects. But anytime you see a green, it is not 100% debris. It could be other solid
That's good.
objects or something that isn't rain. It discerns what's rain and what's not, um, and a correlation coefficient product there. What that depicts is if there's cool colors on there like blue colors and whatnot, that's when you probably start getting classified some larger objects that could be lofted into the atmosphere or where the radar can depict it.
Well, this kind of thing kind of looks kind of tight, Isaac, a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely does just by the look of it. At least 30 to 40 knot broad area steer.
So yeah, like I said, this is a we've been talking about this the last couple of days, right? How strong this system is going to be, and the one tomorrow is going to be worse than we have it tonight, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just goes to show how strong this system is. The system still has a more positive tilt. It gets really strong negative tilt tomorrow, and that's generally why you end up seeing more severe storms because of upper level conditions and how there's a strong recession in heights and very strong there's very strong backflow with this disturbance. So or rear inflow jet, because
Yeah.
this is something you need to um, just the overall broad scale. I mean, there could be severe storms. Like organized severe storms will likely be an issue over a broad area, and that's why we have tornado watches out till tomorrow morning. So definitely you want to be very careful if you live in these areas. If you live in a non-site built home or mobile home, you want to make sure that you have a way to receive warnings, audible weather warnings. If um, don't rely on tornado sirens; they will probably not wake you up.
One thing you do not do, folks, is rely on a tornado siren. That's just one. That's only for if you're outside camping, right?
Well, right. I mean, any outdoor recreational activity, but there are also times where sirens may be unable to warn people of
Go walk.
uh, impending tornadoes. So you got to have multiple ways to receive warnings. Make
Yeah,
sure your
because
phone's
tonight,
charged up
yeah,
and warnings are turned
because the
on.
way
Your ringer
Isaac
may be turned
talking
on
to
too.
Yeah, the way the atmosphere is set up tonight, we could see tornadoes going on to 2 o'clock in the morning, where people are not going to be awake, or even a severe thunderstorm warning might set the tornado sirens off because the winds, right?
Well, sure. It really goes by like each community makes their decision whether to sound the sirens or not. This is not the weather service. This is your local municipality, like emergency operations, the police or fire department. They generally sound the sirens as a means to tell people um, to be alert and get inside, get information by radio and TV, and go to your safe spot if you're in that warned area. And again, sometimes
Yep, there's
community
kind of
also
helping.
what?
There's the quasi line. It's starting to help right now.
Well, what you're seeing there, it's you can see some how it's bowing out. I mean that this is still going to congeal into a. I mean, this is still kind of clustered out. This is going to still. I mean, this is the main line is getting ready to. It's going to congeal into the main line. This overall system, and again, there's a lot of blocks here in place. Nevertheless,
So don't think you'll get done with this line. You're done yet. We don't think we'll probably. When do you think the risk of severe weather will be done down here tonight?
well, I mean, you will probably see spotty tornado warnings at the very least. When you see when there's plenty of surface-based updrafts that'll probably be in place. A couple of storms will still will have the potential to be severe warned. A couple of tornado warnings, and the Storm Prediction Center has defined at least damaging winds with a tornado or two possible over the broad scale watch area. And and storms will have the
And we'll be
opportunity
here through
as they
tonight.
do congeal into a quasi-linear convective storm mode. Um, they will still potentially the storms, especially storms that form out ahead of it, like will pose the potential. Will have the potential to have strong updrafts, and they may be rotating updrafts at times, and then it's going to transition to more of a wind threat as we head into the latter part of the watch period. With still embedded QLCS brief spin up tornadoes still being a potential with this. So something to be really careful about.
So, like I said, what makes me concerned tonight is definitely if that people are not going to realize are probably not going to take severe thunderstorm warnings as seriously tonight. That's what's concerning me is people are not going to take those seriously. They're going to wait for a tornado warning, and it could be already on top of you, right?
Right, right. Some people,
Quasi,
some people, yes. Oh,
you need
never
to
mind.
tell people have you need to tell people how fast these quasi tornadoes can move.
Yeah, they can move fairly quickly, or they can develop pretty quickly without warning. Hey, I'm on a conference loop. Don't mess with her. Um, again, QLC. Hey, never mind. Okay. Where was I? Can't you see? Okay, I'll have to. Hold on. Do apologize about that.
But All right, we still got that one tornado warning that goes into effect into about 10 p.m. Still shows signs of some rotation with it. All right, we still got the one tornado warning that goes into effect about 10 p.m. Definitely still shows signs of some shear there. The red next to green.
All right.
All right, can you hear me, Isaac?
Yeah, I'm going to try this again without interruption. Yeah, you can see that that downdraft is kind of recycling around that up area where there's updraft. So that,
So if you're in
this
a
is.
tornado warning, it's time to seek shelter.
Mhm. Whew, whew, whew.
And see, this line is still continuing. So, I mean, we could still see tornado warnings with this line. You think so?
Yeah, we'll definitely see a couple. You can definitely see where there's just north of there where there's a little bit of a stronger updraft. There's another system producing another weaker updraft. I mean, some of these uh, quasi-linear convective mode tornadoes may develop, and there might not be enough time to react, or there may be no warning in place. So definitely be safe. You want to be in a sturdy structure away from windows and riding this out to ride this out and be safe. Yeah.
And we don't see, if you don't even see these tornadoes, you could get some very strong wind gusts over 70, and 70 is enough to start causing some significant damage, right?
Yeah. Right. Right.
So we still got the tornado warning to 10 p.m. So far, there's no confirmed one, but now, all right, it's moving east at 40 miles per hour now, Isaac. It kind of increased a little bit.
Yeah. It looks like it's the storm motion's picking up a little bit. Um, so yeah. Yeah. You can definitely tell the looks like the shear's slightly weakening with that, but it's still there's still plenty of favorable rotation with that. Just by the way things are looking.
Oh, it's time to move to your tornado safe spot. If you have a basement, mobile homes may not be a safe place to be in, and Isaac, you might want to get out of them until the whole event passes, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, for locations that are tornado warned, the safest place to be is out of mobile homes. If you have a house with a sturdy foundation, manufactured homes, something that is site built or at least has proper foundation, get into your room on the lowest floor. And again, you want to get down and get low. Um, if trees fall onto your house or
Wear a
fall onto
football
your house,
helmet, right? Baseball helmet or football helmet.
yeah, those will protect your head from falling debris. Um,
We already know the Joplin tornado really told you a lot, didn't it?
yeah, right, right.
Yeah, and see that was a strong tornado also too.
You said that was a strong tornado. Was it reported?
I mean, I'm saying the Joplin was very strong.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, this whole line. I mean, I will roll out a couple more tornado warnings with this little quasi system because it looks like could it move to Alabama or is this going to stay like it is right now?
Well, I mean, as the line pushes into Alabama, you're working with a little bit more. You're looking at a little more stable mixed layer, at least less elevated instability, because a lot of the um, it's nighttime, and what's being absorbed by peak daytime heating, obviously, that has less of effect as you go throughout the night, and there's less incoming solar energy during the night and whatnot. So you're being met with a little bit more stable air. So I mean, there will still be some storms that'll potentially produce damaging wind gusts across much of this outlined area, but I don't expect the majority of the area to experience the. I don't expect everyone in this watch area to have that given potential for tornado warnings all across the board. No, it's just you'll probably see a couple of storms on this leading edge that will potentially uh, they may produce brief spin up tornadoes with little warning. So that's why that tornado watch is out. So we're going to be very
Mm-hmm.
careful as this
Look
line
at this little
pushes through.
debris here, Isaac. I see some blue up here.
Some blue. Show me. I don't think I can
Right
see
up
what
here
you're
on the
saying.
map. Can you see that?
Okay, what that might be, it's getting close to the radar site, so I don't think that blue. It's, I think it's a. Sometimes there's distortion on some of the returns the radar gives you, so it might not be debris. Sometimes that's why you can see all those greener colors near the radar because it's slightly distorted. It does that. So.
Okay, I just didn't know.
But yeah, I mean,
All right, let's back out. There's
there's
still
still
continue.
empty updraft, and a tornado could form at any time. And even if it's briefly on the ground, you might not see debris on radar, and it's hard to confirm tornadoes over radar sometimes. So you want to be very careful on that.
Like I said, it's nighttime, and you're not going to see the tornado. And like I said, like me and you and Cameron talked about earlier, some of these storms could be rain wrapped.
Yeah, right. Definitely want
And
to
a
be
rain wrapped
careful.
tornado, you're not going to see it come down the road, and that's the problem.
Yeah, and again, even at night, it's hard to, especially with the kind of terrain we're seeing here. Um, Nighttime tornado spotting and everything is even more dangerous because again, it's not only rain wrapped, but you might even not even know it's on top of you. Um, it can hit you like that, and
This
you
is
just at, at the very least you expect it.
well, this one got lightning strikes with it, so maybe that'll help a little bit if anybody wants to spot it.
Right. I mean, sometimes that helps. Sometimes there's not. There's not always a lot of lightning. There generally it's not going to help you see tornadoes much if it does happen, and it's still very dangerous with like potential cloud to ground lightning at times. Definitely want to be careful about that.
All right, we still got the warning about 10 p.m. So, I mean, I know it's like a holiday weekend. I mean, Christmas holiday, and people are opening up gifts and stuff like that the night before. But that could lead to a problem too, Isaac. A lot tomorrow, a lot of people will be spending time with families and probably don't even know what's going on at the time. So, just don't let your guard down, everybody. This could be a bad situation if you're in North Carolina tomorrow, right? In Carolina areas, right?
Yeah, right. Definitely, if you're in eastern North Carolina, you got to pay attention to changing conditions and uh, follow all health and travel guidelines. If you're at home, know where to go. If there is warnings that impact your area, we'll uh, we'll do our best to cover them as we get them.
Well, and like I said, me and you always like tracking it, but we don't want to see any damage anywhere. I mean, this is even we get a F1 tornado can still do damage, right?
Yeah, right, right.
And the way the things I'm seeing tomorrow is even a hatched area means significant tornadoes, right? It's possible.
Yeah, sure, it's possible. That's probably what they're more likely going to go with at first. If we see higher trends with like lapse rates and just how organized these supercells and how the way the updraft helicity products we've seen earlier go, that they're really organized. I think that's the strongest signatures we've seen at this point in a while. So I mean, if it trends higher, I mean everything goes well. I mean, you get the hatch flying. They could very well go with the moderate risk, 15% hatched.
Yeah, and I call it moderate risk, Isaac. A moderate risk is a dangerous and possibility if you need to go with a PDS watch too, right?
Yeah, sure. It all comes down to the probability of a stronger tornado. So like if the probability of seeing a tornado within 25 miles of a point is equivalent or very similar to the probability of seeing an EF2 to EF5 tornado, I mean within 25 miles of any given location. I mean, if that's the day we're kind of talking about, it's possible. I think the tornado threat, the EF2 plus tornado threat is going to be. It's not going to be like equivalent to the broad scale tornado event because they're going to be fast moving, and I mean the front will probably overtake. The front, just ahead of the front, we're talking about all these supercells that are going to be tracking through this area, and I mean, if they move through fairly quickly, again, that'll kind of, I mean, sometimes when we're seeing like, well, that's why I look at storm relative velocity sometimes to determine, sometimes if a storm slows up a bit, then there's stronger tornadic tornadoes with it. So I mean, if we have much stronger downward force or upward forcing with storms, and stronger and stronger mixed layer instability for certain, and then with the lapse rates and whatnot, I think they might even. I think that's going to be a big factor on whether we get like a tornado outbreak tomorrow, what and whatnot. So something to be very
So
careful
even a
about.
PDS is a typically dangerous situation watch, and that is a pretty small chance of that. But still, I mean, the way we've been going, I mean, looking at models the last couple of days, and yesterday we thought, well, it could just be a squall line, and that'd have been it. But now things kind of changed, right?
Yeah, sure. I believe we will definitely for certain continue to monitor trends as we go throughout that period of time. And I got a really busy day tomorrow,
I'm
so
just
I know
glad it's
you're.
not for us.
Mhm.
And like I said, I just want to go with some quick things too. We definitely been seeing Isaac. We've seen worse tornadoes in the past years, like the one hit November 17th. That was an outbreak, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there you see supercells all over the place. That is as I mean, not really much will compare to November 17th. That is probably once in every couple hundred of years that you have something that large scale, and like something compared to like a mid May or early May in November. I mean, the chance you get something like that doesn't. It's like in a C or D climate classification. I mean, you're not really going to see too many like tornado outbreaks in like late December or something like this. So I mean, this is, I mean, if a lot of anomalies are being presented with this overall disturbance. I mean, above average temperatures further ahead of this, but I mean, up here we're dropped. We were in the 50s earlier. Now we're dropping well into the teens actual temperature. So I mean, we're going to expect like wind chills below zero Christmas mornings, or if I'm right. I mean, because the overall dynamics with this disturbance, there's a lot out of the ordinary. Just getting that out there. So I mean,
All right, Isaac. For me, 45 degrees right now, and tomorrow is going to be low around 10 degrees tomorrow night for me.
yeah, I'm gonna yeah, like I said, I think we might get into the single digits tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. I'll have to
Goodness.
look. But yeah, I mean, I got a
All right,
long
still
day
moving at
tomorrow,
40
so
miles per hour.
yeah, I got a long day tomorrow, so yeah, if
Are
you
you
can
getting
get to
subs
a
in
targeted
R2?
feed,
Are you
a
getting
what?
subs?
A what?
Are you getting like somebody else to? Are you working with me tomorrow? I mean, you have to work, but who's gonna work with me tomorrow?
I mean, we'll narrow that down. I mean, I'll be doing a lot of midday guidance. I don't think that we're gonna need like, I mean, unless you want to coordinate it, we don't have to be like streaming for several hours straight. That's not the point of feed. We just want to increase awareness of the situation on and just be able to and be able to promote that this is a dangerous day, and just do our best to to provide a level of awareness and coverage, and that's kind of my goal for tomorrow. And I know that our that the goal is to keep everyone abreast with the latest developments, and that's what we do with video streaming and everything to keep you aware, keep all of our viewers and followers
Yeah, are we
aware.
going to see? Yeah, my question, Isaac. Are we going to see tornadoes like after 1 o'clock in the morning tonight?
I mean, if anything, they'll be brief, spin up quasi-linear convective mode tornadoes. More than likely that. I mean, you'll probably see.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of warnings, but I mean, it's not going to be an outbreak or anything that's going to
Yeah. And
require
what
like
time is
wall to
tomorrow?
wall coverage like at 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, at sometimes we all have to use our judgment to determine what the safest course of action to do is, and I mean it's important to have a way to
Yeah.
get warnings. Uh, have a weather radio, something that will audibly notify you that the weather service is issuing a warning for you or there is tornadic development in your area. So something that, but you want to have multiple sources of that information too. So I mean, to provide you with an extra layer of defense in these weather situations. So something to be very careful about. Um, and
And my
I'm going to
question:
be
What time is tomorrow? What time
what?
will the situation happen tomorrow up there towards Carolina? What time will that happen?
It will be progressively throughout the late morning into the afternoon. We'll start seeing convection firing off, maybe a few warnings that period of time. But I believe the main threat doesn't come until later in the afternoon, potentially into the evening, early overnight across northern North Carolina, southern Virginia, as well. So that's going to be an area to be very careful about, and then um, and towards the outer, like the northeast North Carolina too, where there's very strong updraft helicity tracks and very strong low level shear. So that is something to be really, really careful about, and we'll see what developments we get tomorrow morning. If feed continues to be required in the early morning hours, I will continue to um, keep. I'll continue to keep an eye on things, and I will I will be able to. I'll be in contact tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and get myself ready for bed. Thanks for streaming there.
So now I know how Maker works. Right? Now I know how it works, right? Keep the black screen like this, right?
Not keep the black screen like that. Make sure when you're enabling your screen, uh, so when you when you go to the participants thing, when you share your screen, when you click share screen, do not click remove where you see you on the camera or wherever it's your wherever you've had your microphone turned on or turned off or your camera. Um, so you don't click remove on
So when
you
am I supposed?
because apparently that was the
Oh,
issue.
so you
Only
have to
your
show me
screen
on here
was
again because
enabled.
I don't know what to.
So on the bottom of
So
your screen,
what
the
am I supposed to do
tabs,
again?
like at the bottom, I mean the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where like your screen is, your camera is, where it says where it says Forecaster USA, JD Rap, Vice, and then Isaac, then and then Forecasters USA, JD Rap, Vice's screen. You'll see those things, an
Mm-hmm.
outline of your screen and an outline of your camera. Make sure that you have the main one with your camera and microphone, the Forecaster USA JD Raps Vice. Make sure that is selected and it's highlighted blue, not highlighted white. That means you're not in the stream. And then make sure you click add to stream when you're not in there. Don't click remove if you're prompted to do that whenever you share your screen there.
Okay.
All right. Well, my phone's getting ready to die. I'll be in touch and call me with what's up. All right.
Okay. All right. We still have that one tornado warning in place. Goes into effect. All right. We still have. Look at that one tornado warning goes into effect at about 10 p.m. Still shows signs of a weak some rotation that runs in effect at 10 p.m. And you can see we're gonna have to still watch that. It's still producing that tornado, but not a potentially nothing on the ground. So while we're not got nothing on the ground, just one warning. I'm gonna sign off here. Watching this line of thunderstorms with an event of tornadoes continue from the even hours. If we go under another tornado warning, I'll break right back in with you. I'm USA Forecaster JD Rap with you.